Which brings us, the day is flying past, to the last session of our masterclass. And it won't surprise you to see that there's a personalization and omnichannel theme that continues with our next couple of presenters. 3 decades ago, the John Frieda brand started as a salon on New Cavendish Street in London. Today, the vision of the brand really does reflect that salon heritage, delivering transformational products that target specific style problems for salon caliber results for their customers. And to take their customer engagement to the next level, John Frieda partnered with omnichannel marketing and operational partner Blue Wheel. In this session, we're going to understand how Blue Wheel and John Frieda have worked together on the cross-channel launch of the Ultra Filter Plus thickening system, which, in case you're wondering, is hair care line for thinning hair, to drive sales direct to consumer, as well as across their retail partners like Walmart. We have 2 fantastic speakers that are joining us to tell this story. Our first is Lyla Holt. She's a digital marketing manager at KAO USA. As part of that, she leads a team that consists of worrying about 13 CPG brands within the KO set of brands, which here focuses on John Frieda. She's got 15 years of experience in digital marketing, paid media, e-commerce, D2C, and performance marketing space. So she's bringing a real set of expertise as she talks about what they're doing and where they're going. She's going to be joined by Lisa Wendland, Director of Lifecycle Marketing at Blue Wheel. Lisa launched and leads the Lifecycle department at Blue Wheel, which is a company who specializes in omnichannel marketing for digital commerce. Lisa herself is a seasoned digital marketing leader with over 15 years of experience driving growth, innovation, and transformation for brands. So we have a fantastic pairing to take us through the story and share some of their insights. And with that, I'd like to hand it over to our guests today.
Perfect. Thank you. It's so great to see so many people on the call today. Lisa and I will be rounding out day 2 of the conference. And we've actually been working together for over 2.5 years. And we've been partnering on strategy and lifecycle marketing for 9 of the consumer care brands. And our partnership also spans 2 markets. And one of them is John Frieda within the US. So today we'll walk you through an overview of the situation and the goals for the John Frieda Ultra Filler Plus launch, the strategic steps and creative solutions we executed to develop buzz. So who is John Frieda, or what is John Frieda? John Frieda is a beauty CPG brand that was founded more than 3 decades ago in a London salon. It's available in over 24 countries, and there's more than 88 products within its catalog. The brand strives to deliver transformational styling solutions. And they're committed to developing products which work for you, for society, and also the planet. And at the end of 2023, John Frieda US launched a new line of products called Ultra Filler Plus. So Ultra Filler Plus leans heavily into that transformational pillar that we were just talking about. And it's very different than most volumizing lines in the sense that most volumizing lines just thicken from the root. Ultra Filler Plus thickens from the root to the end, and it's clinically proven to provide over 200% thicker, fuller hair in just 1 use. It's also very inclusive for all hair types and demographics, and it helps to strengthen hair to prevent future hair loss due to breakage. And throughout this launch, we've received a number of raving reviews. And one of my favorite ones is, I can now style my hair however I want without limitations. It's a solution that's freeing customers who face the challenge of fine, thin hair. So to drive awareness for the line before the brick and mortar launch, John Frieda drove awareness through lifecycle marketing and paid social, and they sent those users to their D2C site. And there were 4 main goals for the launch. 1, identify the right audience for this new line. Educate customers on how the line is different from traditional volumizing products. Create buzz for the new line before the retail launch. And then also refine communication so we're using the right message that resonates with our audience. And for lifecycle marketing, we wanted to provide personalized experiences to boost that conversion rate. Also develop segmentation strategies for improved retention and conversion. Implement automation triggers and nurturing current and future customers. Educate our existing audience and identify the customer needs for this new product line. And also explore overlap between the existing volume products within the catalog and the new Ultra Filler Plus audience. And with that, I will hand it over to Lisa to cover how we brought the lifecycle marketing strategies to life.
Awesome. Excuse me. Thank you, Lyla. The actions and creative for this. So we really followed a systematic approach to implement our lifecycle strategy. Our team began with a thorough audit of the available assets and really worked collaboratively with the cow team to understand, what were all the things available for us with the product launch. And then from there, we built out the campaigns and automations. After coding and setup, we launched the messages. I'll go over what all we sent in this kickoff. And then, we definitely spent a lot of time evaluating what worked and what didn't. And we're happy to share some insights with everyone here today. So with the tactics that we used, Lyla already mentioned, right? So we had an existing customer base and we were able to use our Emarsys list to push out the new product and really just drive conversion, right? Get as many purchases as possible. And that would just help feed our learnings so that we can better understand like who is the audience for this and are we really filling that need, right? So we evaluated the existing John Frieda customer segments. And then, exploring the results, we did evaluate the overlap, right? Between the volume lift audience and the Ultra Filler Plus audience. Prior to retail, launching at Walmart, we really wanted to educate everyone, specifically showcasing we're only going to have this on the cow mall at first. And then during the months before retail launch, we had this opportunity to build buzz and awareness before going live. So when it came to launching that product, we really laid out our priorities looking at education, fostering greater interest and awareness to help conversion, and then drive repeat purchase because this is a replenishable product. You would use it in somewhere between 30 to 45 days, and then seamless execution, really leading up to retail, right? So making sure that we check everything off the list in our strategy. So in January, we had our initial launch email. And then we followed up with a comparison email of, again, differentiating between the existing product volume lift and then Ultra Filler Plus, the new line. And February, we sent a similar but different message. I'll talk about the differences in a little bit. We had before and after content sent out in March. Then our official launch at Walmart, that announcement fired. And then we had a review prompt for purchasers, really exciting stuff. I love to share how surveys go as well. So when we get to that slide, we'll be sure to share some of that. In April, we spent a lot of time digging into the metrics and understanding, what worked well. And again, happy to share that today. And then finally in May, so just last month, we launched our replenishment flow. And that sort of speaks to that audience that's already purchased and should be coming up on a chance to repurchase. So when we're looking at creative, there's definitely some key components that are in effective email design. We definitely see some of the same elements over and over in our inboxes, right? And I get a lot of questions about what's the most important, and when you're building out a successful email. So just going through the list real quick. So subject line, that's how we get people to open, right? So outside of deliverability, our subject line is the main driver of whether or not someone's going to come in and actually see what all the hard work you put into your email and then drive a conversion. So once you've got that, we typically stick to direct and valuable subject lines. We'll share that for each email in the upcoming slides. We really want to have a clear call to action. We don't want someone to be confused as to why they got this email or what, what's in it for them. We've optimized our messages for conversion. So again, thinking about what's in it, how is it valuable, and making sure that's above the fold, right? So they don't have to scroll too far to get the idea of what this email has for them. The focused hero image is pretty critical. In this particular send, we focused on before and after, which you can see just stunning difference. We'll usually include supplemental supplemental or dynamic content, sometimes both. In this case, we only have the supplemental where we have the 1, 2, 3 steps, and then a standardized header and footer. So really thinking about, we want to have consistency. So someone's not confused, like, is this really from John Frieda or whatever your brand is, making sure it's consistent from email to email. Finally, I get a lot of questions about navigation in emails. And so like when Lyla and I were working on these together, we really think about, again, what's above the fold and where do we want them to go? So if you were to put a navigation in here, a lot of brands are doing this. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does push the content down, right? And then we do see a lot of clicks to the navigation, and then we don't necessarily know if anyone's getting to the bottom of the email, where it's kind of distracting from getting the word out, right? So we typically don't recommend including them, but there are some cases where it's valuable. So in this particular instance, we did not have any navigation at the top. Awesome. So this is our first announcement email. Subject line was 200% thicker hair, new John Frieda Ultra Filler Plus. With 17.5% conversion rate. It was excellent. We were really excited about this. We just kind of covered the creative a little bit. We had the product launch information with the 3 steps. The direct content explains how it helps give the look and feel of thicker, fuller hair. That before and after imagery shows the results. We really have a great opportunity when it comes to email, because we can have a one-on-one communication with our audience, right? It's not, YouTube or Facebook or, some ad on the side. Like, we really have that opportunity to like understand and see whether or not someone's reacting. So that 16.4% open rate is outstanding. And then 8.5% click rate. Like, we know there, people were engaging with the content, which is exciting. The next email we sent out was this testimonial. So customers can't stop raving about Ultra Filler Plus was the subject line. We had a 17.9% open rate, which was really exciting. So like Lyla mentioned, we had just so many great reviews. If you go to the product page right now, you'll see just hundreds of great reviews. This one says, if I could give this 6 stars, I would, which is it's just wonderful, right? So here on the right, this hero was a GIF, and it cycles through multiple reviews that are short and sweet. And with social proof of customer satisfaction, even in our survey results, I'll speak on, people really, it really resonates, right? So if you have an opportunity to use quotes or UGC, like, definitely do it. Definitely try it. With this too, this is another thing that Lyla and I spoke on. The before and after, having blonde and brunette I felt was really valuable. A lot of the John Frieda products, if you're familiar, you probably see more of the blonde products, and it's not just for blondes. So really exciting to get more traction with our audience by including both. In the product differentiation here, we really we're striving to explain the differences. So Lyla mentioned, right, the difference of, volume at the root versus volume from root to end. And so in this message, need volume in fine hair, check out our products. And so just a different way to provide that valuable content that we've already started to build on in the earlier messages. Excellent. So then that 4th email was a survey to purchasers. So we want to hear from you and give you $5 off. Really want to emphasize that there was a promotional offer with this. Lyla, I don't know if you want to speak on how the team kind of came to that decision to include a promo.
Yeah, so we were very blown away by the survey results, and we actually went back and forth internally on if we should include an incentive or if we shouldn't include an incentive to our audience. And then we did decide to include that incentive. And we truly believe that providing that incentive helped to increase that conversion rate and that open rate as well. And this survey also, it wasn't just 1 or 2 questions that people were answering. It was almost 20 questions, which completely blew us away, that so many people from our database opened, clicked through, answered the questions, provided their feedback. And I think it's also telling us that customers want to tell brands how they feel. So I do think that the incentive helped, and I would recommend, if you do a survey for any of your brands, to also include an incentive. Yeah,
that's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing, because I know it's tough to make that decision, right? Because you don't want to necessarily incentivize it if you don't need to, but yeah, just because of the length and depth, like I think it was fair, and I think it worked out really well. Awesome. So with the last email in the series, we launched on retail, right? So Lyla and I kind of laughed at this. There's some conversion here, which we don't really expect because we're telling you go to Walmart, but people could click the link at the top. There's some links in the footer that are chopped in this screenshot, but the goal, right, was to inform them that they could use the store locator, they could shop on Walmart.com, and so we got the word out, we got a couple of sales, and so we just really had a overall very successful launch at retail. So super excited about that. The automations that we used, it was really cool to hear how the Home Depot team was able to bring out some automations for their follow-ups. So we included the new product in our welcome automation. So 200% thicker hair, new John Frieda Ultra Filler Plus looks familiar because it is. We dropped this into our welcome series. So someone that's new to the John Frieda brand and the email list would get this email as part of the series. So 15.8% conversion rate, which is outstanding, 14.6% open rate. So again, just getting the word out to people that are new to the brand that there's a new product that might be the right solution for them. And then replenishment. So this launched, like I said, last month. Within 24 hours of launch, we had a 9.84% conversion rate. This fires based on our expectation of when someone would use up the product. So the subject line for that first message is down to the last drop of Ultra Filler Plus. And, again, just being strategically timed based on typical usage, we might go back and tweak it a little bit, but so far we're really happy with the results there. Cool. So here's some more numbers. Leading up to that retail launch, we really knocked out all our goals, right? So we educated our subscribers. We informed that it was exclusive to the mall, and we looked at all of the tools that we had available to us, right? So before and after testimonials. We didn't show this today, but review collection. So getting some input from our customers there, and then upsell content in the retail launch support, just knocked out all those goals. So we had a 4.2x conversion rate compared to our average conversion, 1.6x click rate compared to average, and then 4 times more contacts reached through this multi-touch strategy. So we looked at how many people opened just email 1, just email 2, just email 3. Lyla and I spent a lot of time thinking about if we can't reach someone the first time, let's think about day of the week. Let's think about time of day, and really just plan out strategic messages that are valuable, regardless of whether or not you've opened 1 or all 3. So we had quite a few people that opened 2 and 3 emails out of the 3-part series. So we have some really loyal, engaged contacts on there, but thinking about modern life, right, there may be a chance where you get them once. And so we definitely recommend a multi-touch strategy if you're launching a new product. It can't be a one and done. With the survey results, excuse me, so 98% faced fine and thin hair issues. So nailed it, right? That's the product for them. 38% said positive customer reviews impact their purchase decision making. So there's that social proof. I spoke on that earlier. Definitely use it if you have it. Second, the email was the second most influential channel after social media, informing respondents of the new product line. So when we're sending out messages in this omnichannel strategy, it's really helpful to get that kind of feedback in a survey, because then you have a better idea of, oh, maybe they saw it somewhere else first, but email could drive it home, and just how these channels collaborate together. We have the data, we can go dig in, but it doesn't give us the context where, maybe these customers just felt like this was more impactful for them. And so the survey was really helpful for us to kind of learn that. Awesome. So Lyla, I think I will go ahead and hand it over to you. Again, we just had so many great reviews. Smelled amazing, saw results immediately. My hair was so thin and dull, and after it looked so full and felt so soft. So that's just super exciting. Really loved working with the Cow team on this. Go for it, Lyla. Over to you.
So this launch not only had a huge impact on the success of the Ultra Filler Plus line, but it also helped to shape how we go to market with NPDs in the future. So the Ultra Filler Plus line was the #1 product line on the John Frieda D2C site during this ramp-up period, which completely blew us away. We did not expect that at all. There was also a 2x increase in click-to-open rate compared to another product line that launched with that did not necessarily deploy the same ramp up strategy as Ultra Filler Plus. So this ramp up strategy has proven successful. We reached 4x the contacts because we sent more than one email announcing the launch. So send more than one email communicating the announcement to your audience, because your audience might have missed that first email. Kind of like what Lisa was just mentioning. 10% of the customers opened and completed that survey, which again, completely blown away. And through the survey, we found out that email is actually one of the top ways that people found out about this line. So send more than one email again, so you're getting in, keeping this product, this new product, top of mind, and driving that awareness to your audience. And there were also over 4 follow-up automations. There was a post-purchase follow-up. There's a leave a review that triggered 14 days after somebody places an order. There's a replenishment, and then shortly we'll include a cross-sell, upsell, and also a win-back. Also, we found it really interesting that over 88% of users who purchased an Ultra Filler Plus product purchased 2 or more products within the line, which, as many of you probably know, is not always the case. So we were thrilled by those results. And there were a lot of learnings throughout this launch, which we will replicate and refine the strategy for all of our future NPD launches.
Thank you both, Lisa and Lyla. That was wonderful. I really appreciate the detail that you shared with us and the results, because I think they were so fundamental to that story really coming to life. And as a marketer, there's nothing more fun than running a campaign you're pleased about than watching it just explode around you and discover that you can be that creative, but then also really have to deliver real business outcomes, what we've been talking about all day. So I think you really did an amazing job of telling that story. So thank you very much. Question for you. You've talked a lot. I really love the story. I think there's some other questions in the chat people may want to direct to you as well. But the survey is your first party data strategy to get to know your audience. I mean, particularly a survey of that length that you got people to answer. What other initiatives would you recommend to a brand other than a survey if you were looking to learn more specifics about your audience?
Yeah, I can go ahead and take that question. So we definitely, it's funny because there's some things that Lyla and I are working on right now. So I have some specific instances, but I would say, like, in general, outside of a survey, you could work on a quiz. So especially in the beauty space, we see a lot of capabilities with segmentation in Emarsys, where we can, and depending on your ESP, you can dive in based on quiz results, right, and create segments. So based on what sort of solutions are you looking for, and it doesn't necessarily have to be beauty, but beauty is just so wonderful because you can get into what are you blonde or brunette, redhead, go through that list. Is there something you're trying to solve for? Are you looking for something like fresh and new, or do you want to sort of stick to your routine, and how does this product plug in? So when you have those sorts of answers, you can definitely go that route in your automations and sort of follow up with recommendations from there. And it definitely adds like a fun element, right? Where, to kind of, again, tell the brand like more about what you're looking for. Absolutely. I'm going to slide one more in here, and then I will let you guys get on with your days. You showed a lot of the creative, and you talked how impactful the imagery was. That was very clear. So how are you going to take those insights, and what have you learned that's going to impact how you choose your email hero designs going forward? Yeah, great question. I think there are some next steps already in motion where we're looking at A/B testing creative. Again, I kind of mentioned like the difference between like being known for the blonde line and then some of these brunette products. So going a little bit deeper on that and seeing if there's some segmentation and testing we can do in what's above the fold. Perfect. Wonderful. Well, again, thank you very much. The audience, if you have any questions for Lyla or Lisa you didn't get a chance to ask, please feel free to connect with them directly. I'm sure they would be happy to share more of it. Thank you both very much for sharing that campaign, and congratulations on the success. It's always exciting when you have something like that to share.
And we look forward to inviting you back to a masterclass again to share some of the campaigns that come in the future at our next event.